Welcome everyone to Every Woman Empowered's Chit Chat. And I am founder Shawna J. Serniak, and today we have international artist Jani Galarneau with us. And we have certified laughing yoga instructor and Every Woman Empowered's happiness ambassador, Genoud. And our special guest today is Judy Colton, Entrepeneur. So welcome, ladies.
Yay!
So Judy, thank you so much for joining us today. I know we have a lot of great questions for you. For those of you that aren't aware, Judy is an entrepreneur who had in the past 5 fast food businesses. They were the New York Fries. And she left her own businesses to start up in the multi-level marketing industry with a company called Neora. So I gotta ask, Judy, that blows me away. A lot of people start MLMs, multi-level marketing businesses, to have as a source of income. But you already were established as a strong businesswoman. You had 5 franchises, and you left all that to go into the multi-level marketing. I gotta ask, why?
That's a great question. Let's just say when I chose to, my family thought I was crazy. They're like, you have a university degree. I worked in a family business. My father has a very large industrial construction company. I worked with him for 18 years. I'd done multiple businesses, my husband as well. And so when I said, hey, I'm leaving franchising and doing this, they were like, what are you doing? You've lost your mind. So yes, at the end of the day, sometimes you've got to experience things to kind of learn, take the lessons from them and say, I like it, I don't like it. And I guess, I was in my mid 30s, owning a franchise. I mean, my first franchise cost me $450,000. I remember walking out of the bank after a $425,000 loan going, yoo-hoo, I'm so excited I got my goal. And then going, I got a noose around my neck for the next 5 years. And so, we built it up to 5 franchises. I loved it. I loved working with the kids. We had students 18 to 22. I loved it. I loved empowering them and getting them off to a great start in their life, because they obviously weren't going to be fry cooks the rest of their life. But I love that feeling that I got from it. That being said, as we built up to 4 or 5 franchises, the reality set in. If I wanted to make more money, if I wanted to be able to pull away from my business, it wasn't going to be that easy. There was always constant investments. It could change tomorrow. That was a lot of money, a lot of risk. And really, at the end of the day, it was 7 days a week. I used to say, the bank owned me and my business ran me, and every holiday and working with kids, anytime they're, got girlfriend problems or school problems or exams, it became my problem. And I loved it. And it was a great chapter. But then I thought, you know what, there's got to be something similar that I could have all of this. Like, I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted something that was a cookie cutter, like a franchise. I just wanted to go out there and work, not do all the development. I saw my father do that with his companies. And I went, Right. And so that's what led me to this industry. And so, we wanted to have a family as well. And I thought, I can't have a family and be working 7 days a week. And I looked ahead to 5, 10 years. I was mid 30s by then. And I went, you know what? I don't want to be doing this for the rest of my life. It is very physical, and geographically it was very restricted. So that's where MLM came in. It gave me everything that franchising had. But on top of that, the risk was like minimal. Geographically, anywhere I go, anything I do, I bring my business with me, and it's a business write-off. So I used to run my business on $10,000 a month minimum per franchise, and now I run it on $100. Wow. So that was really kind of what, and there was unlimited potential. I guess that's really what kind of made that decision for me.
And so, if I'm correct, you had dabbled with a few other marketing level companies. Didn't feel that they were a great fit, but then found Neora and it just worked. Why was this company any different? And what would you tell someone who's watching about going into marketing level and what to be aware of?
Wow. we course corrected. I always say that you got to do something, learn, take the lessons and move on to the next one. It's like eating at a bad restaurant because, I didn't like the Italian food. It means I'm going to ban Italian food. No. So when we had our first, 1 or 2 experiences, we worked really hard, like most people do, right? And then something happened and something changed with the management in one and something changed with the products in the other. And I was so disappointed and, like most people are, right? So I had been through 4 times, my husband and I, over a period of 15, 20 years. And I was like, I am done. So when we got, people prospect us all the time. And so when Neora came about, I just went, I am so done. I'm going back to traditional business. And my husband was the smart one. He had the vision and he just kind of said, he says, there's something really different about this company. I'm like, yeah, right. You got 6 months. That's literally what I told him. So thankfully for him, he went ahead, and very shortly what I saw different about Neora, it was really something special, the abundance. What really got me is, we have a saying, it's like, making people better. I'm going to believe in you until you believe in yourself. We do something, Live Happy is our sister company. That whole happiness movement. The Ripple Foundation, the really, really big promoters of, walking your talk in terms of big brothers and big sisters. That's what got me. It wasn't all the rest of the stuff. That was the first thing. The second thing is I looked at the compensation and we had gone to a conference and there was this gentleman that crossed the stage as one of a very high level, and he was an engineer, and I'll be honest, he had the personality of a doorknob. So I'm sitting here, and I'm looking at my husband, I'm like, if this guy can get there with this, I'm like, we have a winner here. And so it was just that really, if you've had a bad experience, I just say, try it again and find the right fit for you. There's so many companies out there. There's a lot of great companies out there. I will never bash another company, but find one that resonates for you. It's also one that, you're going to have possibilities to obviously earn some side income. Everyone's into the side gig today, but you got to love the products. The products got to be consumable. Look at the credibility of the company. I mean, we bought in without even, we hadn't even tried the products because it had just come to Canada. It was our 6-year anniversary. But I looked at the company numbers. They were 2 years in the States before coming to Canada. And I'm like, they can't sell crap over and over again and double their numbers. And so, and worst case scenario, I have a money back guarantee. And so that's really what you want to do, is also the support. Make sure the people around you find the support, because that's really the key. You can get into these companies and it's just kind of like an enrollment game, and then see you later. You're not going to be one of the top 5 then. And so you really, really want to dig in and get to know a lot of people, get the vibe. Try to get on the inside before you get in, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's about empowering one another, like you've said, who they're affiliated with and what they're giving back to the community, which is huge.
Yeah.
And of course, believing in the product that you're selling. I'm a strong believer that I don't sell anything that I don't believe in. And if I don't believe in it, I can't endorse something. And, that's one of the things that we love here, is that with every woman empowered, we really believe in empowering, not just women, but everyone out there. And I just love that that's what your company's foundation, relies on. So Neela, I'm sure you probably have a few little questions here for Judy.
Yeah, I do, for sure. So Judy, you said that Neora, one of their sayings is making people better. You were empowering your New York Fries employees long before that. How are you actually going about empowering people to be their best selves?
Wow. And I guess one of my passions is, especially as women, I often find that men don't seem to have a problem, empowering themselves. Unfortunately, as women, I don't know if it's just me, but over time I found that often they really need somebody who believes in them. And so that's really the first thing I do, is I got to let that person, I got to find their greatness, let them know I believe in them, and, I will, help them. And then start digging deep down and saying, where are those dreams and things you wanted to do before life happened, and kids and family and jobs? And see if we can get back to that, to be able to start empowering them. That's one thing I absolutely do. I want to find out who they are and what they want. Right. And then we put a plan in place. The second thing, this is something I learned from a coach of mine, and this is probably one of the most effective when I'm working with people or coaching. anytime anybody asks me a question, this goes back to New York Fries, my answer is always, what do you think you should do? I don't answer questions anymore because it feels great to answer questions and you feel all good, but that's not empowering. That's like an ego trip. And I don't have a big ego, so I don't have a problem putting it back on that person. And when that coach used to say it to me, I would like beg him. I'm like, Richard, you know what I need to do. Just tell me. And he'd just smile and go, ha, ha, but you know the answer. You just don't want to do it. And so that's kind of a question. Even with New York Fry, I use it all the time and people don't like me. They get really mad at me. But at the end of the day, that's learning, that's empowering. I'm believing in them that they can come up with an answer. And if it's not quite the right one, then I can coach them and guide them. But that's probably one of the most effective things I can do to help and empower people.
And that's true mentoring.
A champ, right?
That is.
Yeah, very strong mentoring. Neela, did you have anything else that you want to add?
I was just saying, it's just people the chance to grow and everything, right? Don't just give them that answer.
Right.
Exactly. Teaching, giving them don't give them the fish. I'm always about, that's why I do the other passions and stuff, or because it's, give them the tools.
Let
right?
them
Don't
shine.
give them the fish.
Yeah. Believe in them and they'll shine. Absolutely.
They will.
Absolutely. And Jani, do you have any questions for Judy? I'm trying to do my business professional look here.
I do, actually. In this time that we're going through, a very strange time, have you found that business has been different or that you've had to readjust? And where do you see going forward from here? Is it going to be very different?
Yes. Big readjustment, big mindset. From a personal perspective with this quarantining, I already work from home, so there's really not a huge difference for me. However, I have, we're foster parents. We have a child, Haven, who's been with us for 5 years now. He's 12 years old. So he's now home full time. So that's the little, that's the part that really threw a wrench in everything. But what I can say, I look at this, I'll say it's a blessing. It's a pattern interrupt. It's devastating and there's so much loss. But from it, I always have to look at the positive. It's created so many heroes. It's created a new normal. I think communities are being pulled together. I'm so restored with my faith in humanity, with all the things that have happened and people that have come together to make this happen. And we have to start looking out for our elderly and our sick and our poor. We have to. We're all one. That's really the message that I want to take. I want people to not go back to their old habits. It's kind of like, don't just press, keep going. You want them to actually stop and reflect, which is what I did. I took advantage of the time, obviously, because I have other interruptions at home. We're doing a lot more family time, play time. We're doing a lot more movie nights. Personally, I'm doing back to my meditation every day. I do a breathing technique through the art of living. I love it. It keeps me grounded. It keeps me focused. I'm back to exercising on a regular basis. Got my little tracker here, which is keeping me accountable. Cooking, just all things like that. A lot of learning, a lot of reading, all that kind of stuff. So for me personally, it's hoping people come out of this, appreciating, really looking back and saying, how did this affect me? I think people are more insecure, realizing nothing's secure today. Even a job. I know somebody who's an anesthesiologist. He thought I have the job that I'll never be unemployed. Well, right now he's on very limited because. Yeah. And this is somebody in the health field. So people are getting a reality check. And it's also something where I think we just need to get back to what our values are. What are our values? What are our goals? When things are less busy and we actually stop and think, we start to realize, how much do I really need? And what do I really want? Yeah. And I'm going to make a little recommendation here. This is actually a book that talks exactly about that. It's something, I was just reading this book. It's called The Sweet Spot. Absolutely love it because that's what this woman talks about. Christine Carter, and she says, don't look for more hours in the day. She goes, find less hours to do work and find the things that are most important to you and devote your time to that. And all the rest of the stuff, how important are they? So this has taught us, how many times do I need to go to the grocery store and the shopping and being on my phone instead of spending quality time with my family and those kind of things. So I think that's really, for me, it's been really great to have this downtime and this introspection and do a learning for myself and growing.
I think right now with everything that's going on, it's really uniting people in ways that they didn't think possible. and bringing back the family values that have been lost for so long, you know, sitting down at a kitchen table, having a supper together with their family, you know, you know, to some of us, that's how you grew up, you know, every day having supper at 5 or 6 o'clock. And, you know, we're such a fast paced, you know, society, and we're go, that now we don't have to take the kids to gymnastics, and we don't have to do this and this. We can sit down, enjoy a meal, and just be with the family. And I love that. And I love.
It's just not that scheduling like there used to be. Everything has to be in its place, right?
Yes. Yeah. Find your sweet spot, right?
Exactly.
Learning to breathe again, right?
Pardon me, I can't hear you, Jani. You gotta talk a little louder.
Learn to breathe again.
Oh.
No, not labor breathing.
Oh, okay.
Meditation breathing, okay?
But just be. Just be.
Yeah,
just learn to get rid of the busyness, figure out what's inside here, spend that extra, you know, and be.
Exactly.
In the moment.
That's right. Now, we don't have much minutes left here, ladies. I can't believe how quickly 20 minutes goes by.
Wow.
But I know you got some fun questions for Judy, and I want to hear what her answers are. So, Jani, I think you had something that was kind of interesting you wanted to ask Judy?
Judy, if you were an ice cream flavor, what flavor would you be and why?
Ooh, saucy.
I'm a rainbow because I want them all. Equal opportunity. You know, I just like a taste of a lot of different things. You know, even if I sit down, I'd rather have 5 different things and taste them all than, you know, have to pick one, because why pick one when I can have multiple? So I just want a bit of everything.
That's abundance right there.
Yes.
Exactly. Okay, well then I'm going to ask Jani, what would be your ice cream flavor? What would you be and why?
Mine is salted caramel, because I can be quite sweet, but I've been known to be kind of salty sometimes. And a little bit unexpected, because that's kind of like a newer flavor. Yeah. And it's very much like my artwork. My artwork is not your regular style, and, you know, keeps you on your toes.
That's right. She's a mouthful, that ice cream, that's for sure. And what about you, Neela?
I would be mint chocolate chip. I think mint's pretty refreshing, and chocolate chips are just kind of extra little crunch that, I mean, everybody loves chocolate except my one cousin, and I don't know what's wrong with her. I'm not quite sure I'm related to her, but yeah. But that would be mine. How about you, Shawna?
You know what? I'm totally rocky road, and my life has been like a rocky road. It's been the ups and downs. So, you know, a little bit of bumpy, but there's been some great deliciousness in it. Marshmallowy, I got a soft heart. I'm very empathetic, so I've got all those marshmallows. I'm a big marshmallow inside. And yes, I'm definitely a little nuts. So I am rocky road.
I love it.
You're here.
Right? All right, so before we end, did anybody have any last questions that they wanted to ask? Neela, I think you had something that you wanted to ask, I believe.
Judy, what was the last thing that really made you laugh?
So usually we try to do little family meetings to discuss things. I'm one of those parents that we have a very spirited child. So we do a lot of discussions. I'm that mom, yes, to kind of regroup. And so after one of these sessions where everyone was calm, my son suddenly pipes up and he says, you know, Mom and Dad, he goes, I'd really like a cell phone. And the two of us just burst out laughing. Like, we're like, no, in your next life. Like, this is so not happening on my watch. But it was like the reaction, like he's all serious and saying, this is like a year ago, or I forget what it was, but I just remember we just laughed. Like every time he mentions it, I just laugh because it's like so foreign to me. It's so not going to happen. And he thought it was perfectly reasonable.
And how old is he?
He's 12 now.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
you know,
He
cell
sees
phones.
the cousins. He's like, I'm like, we can't put him on electronics more than like 15, 20 minutes or, yeah. So there is no cell phone happening.
No kidding. Well, that is
But the
awesome.
way we roared, I mean, he was just shocked. He's like, well, what's so funny? We're like, oh, no. This.
Yeah.
Serious, Mom.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, no, and no. What part of that were you clear on?
Exactly. Yeah. What part of no is do you not understand?
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Judy, for coming out today and being part of Every Woman's Chit Chat. And I just got to say thank you so much. And before we go, there's one thing I would like for you to do, if you could. We say chit chat, chick chit chat, and it's not easy. It's a mouthful. So what I want to know is, could you kind of say that back to us at least 5 times really fast?
5 times really fast.
Yeah.
First, I just want to say thank you for having me.
Judy.
This was a stretch to step out here and be live and stuff like that. Not my thing. So I just want to say thank you for having me. It was a real pleasure meeting all of you.
We appreciate it.
So chick chit chat, chick chit chat, chick chit chat, chick chit chat, chick chit chat. Can we do it? Is that
He
fine?
does it better than I do, for Pete's sakes. We got our new spokesperson right here.
You guys are awesome.
Oh, thank you so much, Judy. Take
Thank
care,
you.
stay safe, and you have yourself a wonderful day.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks.